So for Detroit sports this week, the Waynes get things back on track. Sort of. Until Saturday night. We'll talk about that later. The Pistons get one step closer to destiny. But even though that their future in April is set, still want to seem to be desired and the job's not done yet. And the Tigers, well, we're done the last full week of spring training. We're one step closer to baseball season finally being back. So let's see how Detroit sports fared this week. Starting off with the Tigers, and well, we're at the end of spring training pretty much. Like, this was the last full week of spring training. It's honestly just a Tiger. It's just honestly getting the final cuts to see who makes the main roster, who gets sent down to the minors, who will be on the roster opening day. As, yeah, we are now one step closer. We also get our first starting five pitching rotation, which will see Tariq Skubal get the mound for the season opener next Thursday in San Diego. So Tariq will be the first, so Skubal will be the first one to jack it in San Diego, as South Park would say. And Verlander will begin the fifth game of the year next week. But hey, the last full week of pre-training is over. We're officially in the baseball season, as baseball season for the Tigers starts next Thursday, with a 3-game set in San Diego. But yeah, we are here. Where baseball season is officially back. Although some people are still going to bitch and complain and say baseball's ruined because of the Dodgers. Possibly the last bit of baseball we see for a while. So honestly, this season, for all the baseball fans, enjoy this season while you can. Because this season might be the last bit of baseball we see for a while. Considering that the current CBA deal expires in December, and all signs for 2027 are pointing toward a strike. And based on how the previous CBA negotiations have gone, especially at all sports, usually these type of things don't end well. So, we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. But hey, baseball's back, baby. Now on to the Red Wings, and for everyone wondering, this is the last new jersey I got during that Olympic break. This is the Henrik Zetterberg 2014 Winter Classic jersey. Even got the little C patch on the side. And yeah, you want proof? There it is, the 2014 Winter Classic logo at the University of Michigan. But yeah, for the Waynes, well, the Waynes decide that this March collapse is not going to be like others, as this does not result in a 5-game losing streak, as they ended the streak at 3 games. As they got a win against Calgary to open the weekend, a good win against a bad team. You know, doing what some good teams do, and that's beat bad teams. Getting the job done in a game they're expected to win against Calgary, they got it done. Mainly with Patrick King carrying the team, of course, along with Raymond and DeBrincat. With Larkin still out, well, you won't know for sure until sometime next week how much longer he'll be out for. With the reevaluation, along with Andrew Kopp, and how much the injury depth is hammered down, especially at center. And the Wings followed that up by getting a big win against Montreal after that. And a game that honestly felt like a playoff game. Where the Wings honestly played like a completely different team and actually came determined wanting to win. Honestly, a lot of different Wings team that we've seen all year. Like, honestly, it's kind of a shame that they waited this damn long all season to show up now instead of doing this all season. But the Waynes were able to get it done and get a big win against Montreal 3-1 to help their chances at the playoffs. Like, after the Montreal win, the Waynes' playoff chances were like around 69% or so. Something close to that. And then we had the big game Saturday against the Boston, and yeah, honestly, the game against Boston perfectly emphasizes the Waynes in March in a nutshell. Just when you think they have it all figured out, nope, total collapse. As the Waynes got out to an early 1-0 lead against Boston and then blew it. And choked the Boston by giving up 3 unanswered goals. In a game that effectively broke the tie, it now sends Detroit to the second and final wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Right now, as it stands, if the playoffs started today, the Waynes would be playing the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. while Boston would get Buffalo. So yeah, after this week, well, with 12 games remaining in the season, I got good news and bad news. The good news is the Waynes currently hold a playoff spot. They hold the second and final wildcard spot in the East. The bad news, their entire cushion is gone. They're only in by one single point. As they're currently in by 1 point over the Islanders, and then it's another 3 points back to Ottawa, and then 4 points back to Philadelphia, and then 5 points back to Washington. Honestly, New Jersey on down in the East, that's pretty much all the teams eliminated. That's the elimination zone. Two teams I think we can safely put a fork in at this point. And of course, the Waynes got a big game coming up Monday against Ottawa, and a pretty much a game with massive playoff implications. And it's Ottawa too, god damn it. But yeah, at least this March is a lot different. The Waynes are actually winning some games. But it's still the typical inconsistencies the Waynes have dealt with in March for so many years. Like, it just doesn't matter who the GM is or who the coach is or what talent they have on the team. Waynes have still shown that they're incapable to perform in March when it matters. That sucks too. Like, honestly, it should not take this long. Like, honestly, even if the Waynes make the playoffs, I want to be 100% happy. I just have a sigh of relief, say like, yes, we finally made it in. Although at the same time, it should not have taken 7 fucking years to turn this thing around and get back in. On the Yzer plan. But hey, if you make the dance, you have a chance. And the Waynes just got to find a way to make that dance with 12 games left. Not going to be easy by any stretches, but, anything's possible. Detroit basketball! So now on to the Pistons, as the Pistons' playoff hopes get a little bit more clearer now after this week. As the Pistons, after the Pistons got their season right back on track last week, the Pistons carried that momentum on into this week. Getting some big wins, starting off, of course, with the first game in Washington, against Washington, where the Wizards drew even with the Pistons after the first quarter, but after that first quarter, the Pistons said that's it, and brought the belt back out again, and belt the ass Washington the rest of the way. Although Washington tried to make it a little close late in the game, they just could not catch up to the Pistons, as from the second quarter on, the Pistons never looked back and got the job done against Washington. Although this belt to ass comes at a price, because the Pistons lose Cade Cunningham to back spasms. Actually scratched out, it was a punctured lung. And Cade will be out for at least 2 weeks. So yeah, and he might be out for the rest of the regular season. We'll have to see how the status heals up, but should be good to go for playoff time. But of course, the sad part about Cade's punctured lung is this might cost him MVP because of the 65-game rule, and it might cost him the All-NBA team, which that would suck too, because the All-NBA team is the only All-Star roster that actually matters. So yeah, but of course the Pistons, the team does what they did best without Cade this year, and they've stepped up to the plate as they've got it done, as they then followed that belt to ass against Washington up with another one the following game. Hammering the Wizards and never giving them a chance. And with the second win against Washington, the Pistons hit the 50-win mark, which is the first time since 2008 the Pistons won at least 50 games in the season. So yeah, last time the Pistons won this many games in the season, they actually won a playoff series and made the Eastern Conference Finals that year. That was back in 2008. And then, of course, we had the big game Friday against Golden State, where the Pistons knew if they won against Golden State, they would clinch a playoff spot with a win. Of course, I know some people say, oh, you don't need to win that game to get a spot. You can just rely on outside help to get. I have a better idea. How about we don't rely on outside help to win? Like, honestly, if the team is good enough, they should be able to get the job done on their own without relying on help. Like, let me just say this in terms of everyone talking about outside help. You should never, and I mean never, have to rely on outside help to quit your playoff spot. If your team is good enough as some of you say it is, then they should be able to clinch a spot on their own with no help, no questions asked. And of course, the Pistons knew that, and they took that very well and got the job done against Golden State. Although the Warriors tried to make it close in the first quarter, the Pistons said, oh, hell no, Golden State. You and your bandwagon fucks can get out of here with Steph Curry. As they then threw the belt back out and belt the ass Golden State the rest of the way, leaving never giving Golden State a chance after that, and dominating the Warriors to get the win. And of course, with that win, no play-in required for the Pistons, as with the win against Golden State Friday, the Pistons become the first team in the Eastern Conference to officially clinch a spot in the 2026 NBA playoffs. Step 1 complete. So even though the Pistons are officially clinched into a playoff spot, we all know the job's not done yet. Still 12 games to go, and still a lot of seeding now left to be decided in the top 6. And of course, we all know what number the Pistons want to be going into the playoffs. This number that will give them home court throughout the Eastern Conference playoffs. They probably won't have home court during the NBA Finals, as it looks like home court will either go to whoever they play in the Finals, whether it be Oklahoma City or San Antonio, if any of those three make it that far. But yeah, the Pistons get one step closer. They're currently 4 games ahead of Boston with 12 games left. I mean, based on that, if the Pistons go 6-6 the rest of the way, they should be able to still get the first seed with 57 wins. Like, honestly, I think it's probably going to take 56, 57 wins to get the 1 seed. Even then, I don't know if that'll be enough. Like, it's going to be an uphill battle if Cade Cunningham is out for the rest of the regular season. And for anybody wondering about that 65-game rule, Cade's currently at 61 games right now played. Cade would have to play 4 more games to be eligible for MVP and All-NBA. So, yeah, if Cade's out, well, that kind of sucks. Yeah, like if Cade's out, that probably means that Al Shida is most likely winning the MVP by default with OKC. And also, 65-game rule might cost Wemby the Defensive Player of the Year, and it might lead to Rudy Gobert getting it again. God damn it. But yeah, the Pistons get one step closer, so they won't have to worry about getting eliminated for at least another month. But yeah, first day of spring, they become the first team to clinch a spot in the Eastern Conference. And also a Cade out, how convenient that now the experts are doubting the Pistons and saying they're going to be a first-round exit. Like, have they not been watching this team all year and how they've stepped up to the plate when person went down and they've stepped up with the next man up mentality? Like, I say before, and I'll say it again. Anybody that doubts us doesn't fucking know us. Especially when the team that the experts are doubting is all fucking dog, baby. So yeah, let them fucking doubt. They can learn the goddamn hard way what happens when you doubt a team that's all fucking dog. Like, honestly, I was gonna do it the easy way at the media, but then the media decided to be fucking jackasses again. So you know what? They chose the hard way. They put it on themselves this time. They get no mercy from me if the Pistons win it all this year. Because I'll forgive, but I don't forget. But yeah, Pistons are one step closer, but of course the job's not done yet. Now, on to bigger and better things for the rest of the season. So of course, now time to go get that 1 seed. But yeah, see you next week. I'm out.